Hello everybody, Accureye here, and welcome back to another Accureye Talks video. And in today's Accureye Talks video, I thought we talked about a little theory of mine that I've been kind of thinking about and I've been kind of working on to see if, if it does actually ring somewhat true. Now, the theory is that, dropping into a hot zone, if you can get lucky, means that you'll catch players at their most vulnerable, thus making you, at least to a degree, a little bit better or at least stronger overall. Now, while this theory is not completely foolproof, and while I've only tested it for a short period of time, it does seem to ring true that if you drop into a hot zone and, like for instance in Battle Royales, and you get lucky, then most likely you're able to control the battle and win. Now, this doesn't always ring true, as you'll probably see throughout this entire video. I just could not get lucky, and today just was not a lucky day for me to really get into, of course, being able to just drop people like flies. And I think the main reason of that was because of the fact that I pretty much was, exhausting all the possibilities, and I also ended up with practicing quickscoping, which again is another video entirely. And the whole ordeal about quickscoping and stuff is just another ordeal, and it's just another talks video entirely. But yeah, the theory of just dropping into the hot zone, at least to me, seems to be that if you drop into the hot zone in a battle royale game, or of course if you are able to just keep up the so-called aggression / heat on players, it will at least in turn make you overall better. Now, that is at least my theory on it, and I think that this aggression theory does ring true to a degree, and it does mean that you are going to get better. Now, like I said, you have to get lucky. You can't just have a point where it's like, oh hey, look, I got I'm gonna get aggressive on the hot zone, and it's all going to go like super okie dokie. It's going to go like really, really well. But I mean, let's face it, at the end of the day, it may not go completely well. It may be like, oh crap, I literally messed up in some way or another. And that's true. You could have easily messed up in some way or another. But, it all depends. Like I said, I'm trying to practice to master quickscope tech, and it's not exactly easy. It's something that's very, very difficult, because most of us, especially those of us who play FPS games or first-person shooter games, are going to be very, very used to trying to hard scope and get a good sight on our enemy. But truth is, quickscoping is really something that I will explain later on once I have better knowledge about it, and once I have a better idea of what it's all about, basically. But in general, quickscoping is basically a way to make your shots basically always hit, in a sense. Quickscoping, the short version of it, because I'm not going to be going over entirely on this video, as it'll be dedicated to a separate video, it's basically just make it to where you are overall just never going to really miss a shot, for say. And it's going to be so fast that people are going to be questioning or even wondering how the heck that was possible. But that's the gist of quickscoping. Now, we'll go over that eventually. So, now back to the whole theory of, does this whole, aggression thing work? In my opinion, absolutely. In Battle Royales, sure, you're going to be at your most vulnerable by trying to drop in a hot zone, or wherever the most people are. And you're going to basically have to hope that you get lucky on a good weapon, or hope that you can catch somebody with your fist. But in the end, it genuinely can give you an advantage over everyone else, because everyone else is not going to be expecting it. everyone's going to be hoping to find a good weapon. Everyone's going to be basically on the drop to look for something that can deal damage, or at least at the very least, be suitable to use. Not everyone's going to pick up something like an RE-485. Not everyone's going to pick up something like a Prowler SMG. But it's those weapons that can help change the tide of battle. And, if you are trying to master quickscoping, or if you are a master of the quickscope, then it's those weapons that pretty much can change the tide of how the fight goes for you. And it can basically make you better or worse, depending on the situation. But, overall, it depends on if you have a good weapon. For instance, something like, as you can see here, the Devotion is not good. It's not a good quickscope weapon. Even though, as you can see there, I was trying to import the quickscope tech. It just was not a good weapon to import the quickscope tech. And it just isn't a very good weapon overall to use quickscope. Because, of its fire rate and also just the absolute warm-up time. And that's something that most players are just not very, not very good at one entirely. It's something that players are just, having trouble with if they don't have a good weapon. I can almost tell you that the Devotion is just one of the few energy weapons besides the Havoc that are not good for quickscoping entirely. Does it have a place in the game? Yes. For hard scoping, I would say that the Devotion is not bad. But anyway, going back to the whole aggression and stuff, I think that it just depends on getting lucky. If you can get lucky, you obviously are going to be in an advantage, and people are going to basically be having trouble trying to home in on you, or trying to figure out what you're doing. So in its entirety, it doesn't mean that you are just a better overall fighter. You can just be overall much better than anyone else. But, of course, that comes at its own cost, as you may expect to a degree. And, it's okay that sometimes things come at a cost. Sometimes I get and I understand that, it's very, very intimidating, I guess you could say, when it comes down to, being able to run or even just focus on the task at hand. Because, aggression is not something that everyone is known for. Everyone is not known for aggression. Not everyone is ready to be over-aggressive. Not everyone is going to be ready to just kick off a fight. And I think it just comes down to that self-preservation. Everyone wants to preserve themselves. Everyone wants to make themselves, feel like it's just, it'll be easier for them to preserve themselves. So, and that's one of the other things that you see when it comes to team games is that the mentality is, instead of acting like a hive of bees, we're going to all be one solo person. We are all just one person looking out for numero uno. In some cases, that is basically ourselves, instead of getting over-aggressive. And I mean that the over-aggression is a good way to really base yourself into situations and, be perfectly ready for it. Because, again, you may not be perfectly ready for every situation. Sometimes it just comes down to you being lucky and just getting exactly the gun that you may need to pick off the fight. For instance, like if you have a sniper, quickscoping is an absolute beautiful art, and it looks absolutely beautiful, thus making it an absolutely great thing to work with. As you'll see in this battle here coming up, I take advantage of quickscoping because, again, quickscoping was more built for snipers. It wasn't really built for, stuff like machine guns. But this is just another form of being aggressive. And, in theory, this aggression is a way to basically make it to where you are, overall better. You are overall just, working on it. And as you can see there, you could see how, I'm trying to be aggressive, and at the same time, you saw me there pop 2 people with just a quick scope. I didn't really, now it may be like, Accureye, how is that so accurate? And yeah, it's part of the aggression tech. Quick scoping can be part of the aggression tech, and it's something that you can use to aggress yourself. But, as you can see, stuff like that is just tech that you could possibly use and possibly be using to help yourself get better. Does it always work? Does aggression always work? Absolutely not. Sometimes aggression just does not work at all. Sometimes aggression is just going to be a bad thing for some people. And it is a bad thing for many people sometimes. But, overall, aggression and being over-aggressive and whatnot can be very, very good when you know what you're looking for. But anyway, with that being said, hopefully this has helped you understand a little bit of my theory about being aggressive and why you should be aggressive, because technically aggression can, give you an advantage and, of course, catch people when they are at their most vulnerable state. And usually their most vulnerable state is the beginning of the game in Battle Royales. In shooters, of course, it just comes down to hoping that you can quick scope and, keep up your little perk of going from point to point, just dropping people, if you will. But, with that being said, thank you, everybody, for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification, because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. Thank you for watching this video. And until the next one, everybody, this is Accureye, signing out and saying, farewell, everyone. Oh, yeah, and before I say farewell, I am live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Accureye. I am live on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for sure for about 4 to 5 hours usually. But lately I've also been live. For and I'm not sure when my schedule will be, but lately I've also been live on Monday and Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday are usually going to be a 2 to 3 hour stream, and usually those streams happen around 11:30 p.m. PST to midnight PST, depending on when I get a video uploaded, as my video upload schedule is on Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday I upload one video every day, and usually that is that's usually around 11:30 p.m. PST to midnight PST, depending on my internet and whatnot. But thank you, everybody, for joining me today. Hopefully, like I said, you enjoyed this video. Hopefully, this video has helped you understand at least my theory on aggression and whatnot. And, once again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching this video. And thank you for, stopping by. And until the next one, everybody, like I said before, this is Accureye signing out and saying... farewell, everyone.